EA Sports. It's in the game.
How's it going, everyone? McDonald, aka Brody, bringing you my first episode, doing a live stream, gonna save the video, post it to the website. Figured I might as well start up my own little broadcast, my own little show. Might make things pass on information to LG a little bit better, a little bit easier. Obviously I'm not the greatest when it comes to spelling and grammar, so perhaps listening to me talk about some league issues may be a lot easier and a lot better for most. So just wanted to take the time to show you guys some stuff. So, name of the show, we're going to call it the Chronicles of a Drop-In Hero. I spend a lot of time playing drop-in games, meet a lot of different people, get to talk about the game quite a bit, answer some concerns that people have about the game, kind of from a game changer's perspective, which is kind of nice. I've got a ton of HUT stuff as well that I'm looking to give away. If you ever played me in HUT, you'll see that my team's called Mr. Rights, meaning I don't use left-handed players because I can't. I'm not skilled enough to quite use a left-handed skater, so all my good left-handed players and some of my right-handed players that perhaps don't make my lineup, I will also be giving away on Twitter. Follow me at Twitter at LG_commissioner. Most of my giveaways I take place on Twitter as well through the website. So without further ado, let's jump into a drop-in game and we'll discuss some things going around the league right now. We're pretty lucky. Xbox League and PlayStation League are jumping into their. We're in the middle of week 3 right now currently. Been a pretty good start to the season so far, considering a lot of different factors, obviously. Playing for Bakersfield in the ECHL right now. That's Edmonton's farm team, for those of you who don't know. So obviously most people know by now that we're using Club Challenge, as you can see here. The Club Challenge screen is what we're end up using for league games. There's no invite a friend or no system currently that allows us to use anything other than ECHL. Obviously not ideal. There has been some issues over the past couple weeks, I believe. Yeah, about a couple weeks in regards to club challenging not working, people not being able to get in the lobby, disconnection, so on and so forth. So there definitely has been a lot of discussion with myself and EA to hopefully bring something back, add something back in, give us a patch, give us just something to make it a little bit easier for us to play, because it is difficult using Club Challenge. Obviously finding ECUs and getting them to join your club and having a cap limit of 20 players per your club makes things a little bit difficult, obviously. So that is something we're working on changing and hopefully working better. As you can see, 151 drop-in games. I play this quite a bit. So solo matchmaking. Here we go. If you haven't been on the website in a couple days or the last 24 hours, you probably didn't see my big too long didn't read post that I made yesterday. It touches on a lot of issues, kind of a player's guide to information and things that no one really spends the time to read. It's kind of a synopsis actually of Article 2. Article 2 is our game night setup and our disconnection procedures and that sort of stuff. So I went into detail and broke down some information in regards to how to take a forfeit, when to take a forfeit, when does the game need to be up, and all that stuff, right? So that's all very important for all the players to kind of understand the timelines, when you need to be in the dressing room, when you need to be available. It gives everyone a set timeline so the games can get played. It's kind of nice to have a set schedule, obviously, for when you're playing LG games. Everyone's got life. Got to go to work in the morning early, but you can play tonight at 10, or maybe you were playing Pro Series after your LG games. Pro Series went to a set schedule, I believe, last season or last time around for Pro Series. So having a set schedule does mean that there will be Pro Series games on LG right after LG games. So that's pretty good for the website in whole. We can pretty much watch hockey from 8:30 right till 2 o'clock in the morning with all the live streams going on and stuff. So it's definitely a big plus for the website and a big plus for everyone playing. So we discussed a lot of things, right? So everyone's pretty much familiar with our official game times. NHL is 9, 10, 11. That 11 time slot is something that has been tradition here in LG. LG always kind of had a late game that catered to the West Coast players. We do have quite a bit of West Coast players, so that 11 p.m. game slot, there's 2 of them in the week, does allow a little bit more time for those West Coast players to get home and make the game times. 9 and 10, prime time. All the good leagues have always ran like a prime time schedule, and 9 and 10 seems to be prime time for the NHL, highest tier. AHL runs the 9:30, 10:30, so kind of the offsetting slots. That does allow for better communication, more ECUs and such to the NHL. Keep in mind the rules do state that a player is scheduled for his AHL roster. He is not required and actually not able to ECU at the NHL level. It does cause a lot of issues if you're pulling players that are scheduled from the AHL to the NHL for ECUs. That could lead to forfeits or delays in the AHL, which is something that everyone's trying to avoid. Doesn't look like this game's going to go anywhere, so we'll back out and we'll try again. Not sure what everyone's opinion is on this new drop-in system. I think the concept and the idea is pretty cool. You have to pick your position here. It would be nice if you actually had the ability to maybe change a little bit, but I know when you understand the logic behind how the system works, if you went in as a forward and you changed the defense, it would screw up the match because it would still be looking for someone to fill a defensive spot even though you switched to it. So it is good when it's busy. I do find if I come home from work or I'm playing midday or early morning drop-in games, it is difficult to find a complete six. The group matchmaking is a lot of fun though if you get a couple guys together and you don't want to go play threes in club, you get a couple guys together and jump into a drop-in together and play the games from there, so that is pretty handy. So back onto the big post from yesterday. I discussed what happens. The 5-minute mark is, that's 5 minutes after official game time. So like I said, official game time, AHL, NHL. So official game time for the CHL is 8:30, 9:30. It's been like that for a long time. Gives them the early game. Tends to be a younger community, so an early game definitely appeals to them. And then, obviously, the addition of the ECHL on our Xbox brand this year. ECHL game times are 9 and 10. That kind of opens up a little more availability for them to play for ECU at the AHL level as well, too. Having a little bit of offset times. So what else we talked about? Yesterday there was some debate in the forums and on the chat in regards to the the additional time and all that standards and stuff. So 2 or 3 seasons ago, when EA introduced a drop-in system, when we got away from lobbies where you're using an invite system, the timer at the top for those invite private sessions has always been roughly 5 minutes. It actually is about 5 minutes in club challenge as well too. The thing is that 5 minutes was never really taken into account, and what happens if a player lags out, blah blah blah. We have seen cases before where there has been some lag outs, like in this screen, for example. Maybe team's waiting to ready up. Guy loses connection, loses power for a second, drops from the EA servers. There has been issues where teams have tried to claim forfeits on that. That's obviously a big problem. Once you get to this point and you're playing 6-on-6, it is definitely you want to get the game played. So a leg out right now is a pain in the ass. That's for sure. So the additional time, we've always allowed 10 minutes additional time for connection issues. So you leg out, you have disconnection problems, you've got to reset your router, you get kicked from the EA servers, whatever it may have you. We've always allowed for 10 minutes to kind of get your shit together and get back and try to get back in the game. So that being said, obviously, a leg out in this screen during that 5 minutes would result in extra time being requested. So just keep that in mind. That 5-minute timer that's in these menus is included in everything as well too, because the last thing you'd want is for you get down to the last 30 seconds of this clock. Perhaps it's almost 10 after 9. Player lags out right now, loses connection, power goes out quickly, gets kicked off. The last thing you want is for the game to end in a forfeit, when all you really need is a couple more minutes for that player to be given time to come back, jump back in the game, and away you go. Or for their team to grab an ECU quickly and continue on. That's a big thing that happens in the league. We have roughly 3,000 players sign up on the Xbox side and just over 2,000 on the PlayStation side. So obviously we all want to play the game, right? That's a big thing. We all sign up to play games, so even if it's a few extra minutes, not a big deal. There's quite a drastic difference between utilizing the additional time for a quick leg out correctly and obviously abusing the system and having games start extremely late, which is causing a lot of headaches and a lot of issues within the league right now. A lot of people are pretty disappointed with how late some games are starting. Knock on wood, I've been pretty lucky. I haven't had anything crazy happen in any of the games I've been involved with. I haven't really had any problems getting the game started, so I've been pretty lucky. Using some European jerseys here, that's interesting. So I'm blue, right wing. Normally don't play right wing, but it's drop-in, so we'll see what we can do. 6-on-6 drop-in's usually fun. It only lasts for moments, obviously, because everyone likes to quit out, or no one likes to pass, so yeah, it's always fun. Yeah, so then keep that all in mind. That's what additional time is in a nutshell. It definitely can be utilized correctly by everyone, which will allow teams to make adjustments last minute, which is always huge, obviously, right? You have a player who drops out, or it gives you the opportunity. Nice tip. Gives you the opportunity to replace that player and continue on and not have a forfeit. And I guess I'm invisible out here today because no one wants to pass me the puck. So what else did we talk about? Oh yeah, so we're talking about kind of like the reschedule systems and the request to reschedule, and oh, that was a good poke. And I'm getting tied up. Don't have the puck. That's a penalty. Throw back. Yeah, so obviously, reschedules are kind of in the system and set up for issues that occur that are kind of out of people's control. I've seen videos already, and the BOG have already made some rulings on certain things, but the club challenge screen seems to have ghosts at times. There's been issues at Pro Series level. There's been issues within the league that I've seen where, trying to get into a game, but you can't really get into the game because of, one player just simply can't get into the lobby. All 6 guys are in the dressing room. You're sending the club challenge, nothing's working. Then you send it, it joins up, everyone gets in, but only 11 players are in the actual challenge screen. That tends to become a pain in the ass. I know last night I was playing a few club games with my LG team, and our goalie was doing his homework and whatnot, so he was a little bit AFK at the time, and jumped into a game session, it loaded up, and he wasn't showing, so we're kind of like, oh, what's going on? And then one of our players was like, oh, just turn your controller back on, come back, be active. And so as soon as he did that, he actually reappeared in the dressing room. So that's the first time I actually have seen that before in the load screen where a player isn't showing. And the reason why he isn't showing is because his controller is, went to sleep or is dormant. That's something a little bit interesting. So I'm not sure if that has caused issues in LG, but hopefully not. Obviously, when it's game time and stuff, everyone wants to get playing. So let's see what we can do here with the puck. Difficult playing and talking at the same time. Oh, that's a good penalty. Yeah, so the BOG right now have been looking at all these conditions and all these issues. Everyone, I do appreciate all the teams that are taking the time and putting the effort in to I'll just try to get their games played. But, I do understand that if your original game is supposed to play at 9 and, you're running into issues with Club Challenge, which is preventing you from playing those games, that's a big hit. Take a hit to make a play. It's causing you issues. You obviously want to get your game played. It's also difficult too if you're scheduled to play 2 in one night. A lot of teams do that. A lot of players like that, right? They like to be able to play 2 games at once. I know myself, I'm a big fan of that as well. So it's kind of nice to be able to play those both. So it's kind of a pain in the ass if your first game doesn't start until supposed to play at 9, or it doesn't start until say 20 to 10. Now you're going to be running late for your second game. It causes a ton of issues, right? So that is why we do have the reschedule system in place. It does allow teams that are continually trying to actually put an effort in, get the game played, who can't. It gives them an opportunity to actually play their game. That's pretty key, pretty important, I believe. But that's what all it's really there for. It's meant to be for those teams and those players who are actually putting in a valid effort to try and get their games played. We're not looking to see and have teams abuse the system, so on and so forth, therefore causing games to run late for just unknown reasons or because players are playing in another league. You know what? I'm all for players playing as many leagues as they can and they want. It's fine. I have no issues with that. I do have problems though if you're committed to LG, and you're committed to your LG team and your other leagues are running in the way. I'd rather make a commitment, stick with it, or just simply play the other leagues. You don't have to play here if you don't want to, and it is a pain in the ass, and it's hard for your other teammates who sign up to play here if you're constantly running late or trying to double book or double schedule, so on and so forth. If you're scheduled to play Tuesday in LG, maybe Tuesday's your day you don't play in your other league. That would make things a lot easier for everyone, be ideal for all of us. Limits issues as well too, and games actually get played. Yeah, so the reschedule system is in place, so if you are running into some issues where the lobby isn't loading and you can't get into a game, by all means, take the time. There's a goal, big tip. Take the time, talk to each other, communicate with the managers, and then you can send a reschedule request into the BOG for them to handle that as well. We have seen situations already this season where a lot of partial reschedules, right? So game gets started, and perhaps they can't finish the third period because of lag outs. It's getting too tight to the next game time. So we have seen a ton of partial reschedules. Big deke attempt. That's fine, it works. Obviously, if you're having those club issues, that's what we're looking to do, is give you guys an opportunity to finish that out sometime in the week, maybe earlier. It's only a period, so not a big deal. We've also Had situations where we've had a team claim they're having a lobby issue or a connection issue, drop-in issue. No real evidence or proof that could support what they were claiming, and they requested extra time after the additional 10 minutes there, past official game time. So, the rules don't honor the ability to do that, especially if the lobby isn't started up yet. They were the home team as well. So the BOG did rule in that case that is a legit forfeit. So, if your lobby session isn't up by the 10-minute mark and you are the home team and you're trying to request some additional time, you're kind of putting yourself in a bad situation because the rules actually don't support that system. So just keep all that in mind. You want to try to get that all up as soon as possible. Streaming and video clips are huge. Even if you don't stream, to be able to take an Xbox video clip quickly that shows and utilizes the lobby of what's kind of going on is pretty important. It actually shows the ability gives you a quick 15-second clip, and all those clips actually save and merge to your LG account, which then allow you to send those in a PM, send them to the BOG, post them as proof. That's all pretty important stuff. So if you're actually having some issues in the lobby where you actually can't get the club challenge to start, maybe it's a good idea to take a quick, double tap the Xbox button, press your X button, get yourself a video clip of what's kind of going on to use later on down the road. That'll be pretty important. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we're looking at for reschedules. Obviously, I do understand there's always going to be abuse of the rules. There's always going to be people that try to stretch things out, or teams that try to do that kind of stuff, because it is, it is what it is. People are always looking for a competitive advantage, and if your best player's running late coming home from work, everyone's trying to look for an advantage to make sure he can make the lineup, so because he's a big key part of your team, and that's important. But, I think we all have to kind of respect the fact that we have other commitments going on, and everyone wants to get their games played. Everyone wants to play in this league and actually play games, and oh my god, it's a bad pass. So let's try our best just to work within the rules that we have and utilize the systems we have. That was a huge hit. So, yeah. That's pretty much it on that topic for reschedules and stuff. I think we've kind of beat a dead horse. That post offers a lot of information in regards to what the Constitution actually says. So follow that, and we should be good. Stats is another kind of topic right now that's causing issues. Obviously, I know Triz put a ton of time into the OCR and updated with that new page, which is kind of nice and handy. Having gamer tags has always been a benefit. Gamer tags linked to our profiles, which make our life a lot easier. I'm trying to wiggle, that guy's in the way. So having the ability to use gamer tags is way better. So that page is key for us. Obviously having the issues of the inconsistencies and the inaccuracies of shooting, for example, or power play stats, or all the other issues that are associated with that page is a pain in the ass. We've been pretty lucky though. One of the developers from EA that has a big hand in ECHL and the stats and the stat pages and stuff has kind of opened his doors to allow Triz and I to talk to him more specifically about the stats and kind of take things that we need for LG more seriously. So Triz has been in contact with some of these guys, has expressed their issues and expressed issues with the stat screens, and been able to give opinions and definitely advice and suggestions, one developer to another on how to make things a little bit better. So hopefully that relationship will translate into just better things for LG and make our life a lot easier. Not really sure where the goalie was going there. That was pretty bad. Big celebration. So that's what we're kind of hoping for the future. Obviously, like I said, the inaccuracies do cause issues, but that page is ideal. Having the gamer tags for stat verification, it works a lot better for the OCR. Skater names was kind of something that we had no other choice coming into NHL 16. With not displaying gamer tags, it did become an issue. So we needed some way to actually display what was kind of going on, right? So that was the quick fix that Triz came up with, was obviously to utilize what the player skater name is. But of course, not 100% ideal, because a lot of people like to change their name daily or change their name often, which does cause issues if you don't update it in your LG profile. With that being said, obviously make sure that you are keeping that up to date, because if we do have leg outs and such, that was a really nice spin pass. If there is leg outs and stuff, you're going to have to... 1 second. Scores. So you can't play and talk at the same time. Not good at that yet. So obviously, if you are leg outs and stuff, we will be utilizing your your LG skater name. for stat verification. So obviously, if you want to get your games played and your stats in from the game, keep your name up to date. That's just all in your user profile under your personal information. It's all listed there. It's still listed as NHL 16 skater name, so keep that in mind. That is the field you want to fill out correctly in order for your stats to work properly. So yeah, that's stat verification. Once again, we're hoping that we can make some progress. Like I said, it's always nice to have Triz in contact with these guys. He's the one that makes all the magic happen, makes our stat system work the way it's supposed to work. He's fixing all the errors and working towards better things. So for him to be able to have direct communication with some of the developers from EA will make our life a lot easier, and will make the stat system in the game a lot better for us as well too, which is huge. Back to defense I go. So yeah, that's pretty much a nutshell. Trying to think what else is kind of going on right now. No, week's been going along pretty nicely. It's been pretty good. No real crazy issues that are kind of going on right now. We've had a couple, management step down in the CHL level. That's always going to be a case, early in the season. Having CHL separated definitely provides a lot of opportunity for new members and prospects to step into the limelight and take CHL management, which is, it is what it is. It's ideal. These guys obviously want to play in our league and are excited about it. A little bit of inexperience at times, so that's okay. That's why we have such a large experienced staff, right? That staff will provide, the required information to hopefully help the CHL grow. Drawing penalties later. Help grow and develop and get better. As these players work their way up the ranks and stuff as well too, perhaps they'll spend a couple years in the CHL, get comfortable with our management systems and tools, and then from there they can work their way to the AHL. So I think the CHL's been pretty successful this year, having its first season of separation. It's our second season of being 60 teams, which is always great. It's nice to see that at its full capacity. We've finally been able to offer that much. That's 1,020 players that are active in the CHL and active rosters, which was always a goal for us for a long period of time, right? So it's nice to be able to see that finally come to what it is. A lot of hard work has been put in the CHL by our staff. Big shout out to them and everything they do. They're pretty active, constantly discussing things, bringing issues forward, bringing ideas forward. They don't really get enough praise for what they've actually done and what they actually continue to do daily for the CHL. So I definitely want to tip my hat to them and really show some appreciation for what they've done. AHL level this year, once again, that's where I'm playing, having a lot of fun. It's been pretty decent. Typical AHL. Standings are divided by a few points from top to bottom, like always. That always tends to be the case at the AHL level this early in the season. Saw a handful of CHL managers this season too work their way up, make their way to the AHL. Some good, some bad in that. We definitely see at times that perhaps some of these CHL managers just aren't ready yet to make the jump to this level. That's what leads to them quitting out early or running into some issues. So those of them that have stepped up, that have done a good job, are actually doing a really good job. So we don't see as many issues from them, that's for sure, which is huge. That's important. But I definitely think that the issues we do see at the AHL at times does stem from a little bit of immaturity and inexperience at the management level. So not sure if that means maybe spend a little bit more time in the CHL, develop your skills, maybe take a lesser role. Don't jump right into the main GM role in the AHL right away without a little bit of experience. Jump on him with a guy who has experience, has been around for a while. There's definitely different avenues to take in order to make it work. The CHL and the AHL are different, man. AHL is a completely different beast. Not alone, the talent level is way different, but the rules are more specific, more strict. Game times are different. The competitive level is a lot different as well too. We're looking at how managers are viewing everything. There isn't the wiggle room to have your stats late, in the AHL compared to maybe in the CHL. Some people let it go by night. So definitely it is a change of pace when you do make the jump from management levels up the chain. So keep that in mind. NHL level, typical NHL level, pretty good start to the season. Been pretty quiet. No major issues. Obviously, we did see an owner quit this weekend. Very, very late, which has caused some issues that we're still addressing and still dealing with, and still looking to see what can be done with the aftermath of what's occurred. Definitely has been an interesting week for us, to say the least, at the NHL level. Big shout out to Draisaitl and St. Louis. Obviously, it's nice to be able to see an AHL manager step up and take over and be successful. His team's probably going to say it's because they have the brand, and the brand is the best, is why they're doing so well. I've already received some pretty funny tweets saying that LG can't handle their talent, so let's keep that in mind at the NHL level. They do think they're here to take over, as Connor McGregor would say. So keep that in mind when you play St. Louis and you're playing the brand. Yeah, so NHL, like I said, typical NHL, competitive season, no real issues. Nice to see a ton of returning owners again to come back for NHL 17 in the league. Nice pass. It's really good for the league. Really keeps everything competitive. Yeah, so that's the NHL in a nutshell. No real problems, no real concerns. There never really is. We have a ton of experience up at that level now too. And all the players and managers have been around for so long. They know all this stuff. They've been around in the VHL times when our disconnection procedures were pretty much identical to what they are now. So everyone is fairly familiar with how things work. As we work our way down the lower tiers, that's where we see a little bit of inconsistency and a little bit of inexperience, just because we are seeing a lot of turnover each season with new prospect players and players being introduced to LG. So I shouldn't say never, but there are times where there are players who may not have experienced a leg out in the season, or only a few times, and didn't really have any involvement because their managers are in the game. So we definitely need to focus more on educating our players at all the different levels to make sure they understand the processes for disconnection and so on and so forth. What a save. That was actually a pretty bad clear. ECHL, first big season of ECHL. That's kind of cool. We started off with 8 teams. That's a really good stick lift. So 8 teams is pretty nice. Gives some opportunity to some players. Obviously, with the size of training camps, we would like to have gone larger. That would have been ideal. But it is what it is at this time. Same thing. A little bit of growing pains here and there. Tons of dedication by those managers. Those 8 owners, GMs, and AGMs who've stepped up to kind of fill those voids and run those teams. I really tip my hat to them as well. It's given a lot of opportunity to players to actually play in a competitive environment in a competitive league this year rather than sit on a training camp. That was always the goal at the ECHL. May not be 100% competitive like the NHL and other levels, but it's a work in progress. That's what we're working towards. That's what we're going to be trying to make for it and bring for it. So big thanks to all those managers and all those guys who stepped up to the process. And for all those players in the ECHL as well too, showing up to the games, playing their games. Good advice, for all the ECHL players that are sitting on a training camp right now, wishing they could play, next season. Sign up for management, man. I'd love to see the ECHL expand. I know there's 27 ECHL jerseys in this game, so that will give us opportunities. Big save to continue to expand the ECHL. I'm stuck on the goalie, which is kind of nice. 27 teams. That almost gives you another 500 positions for the league. 500 players can play. That makes really helps out everyone. Helps the HL for ECUs. Helps that league grow and to be more of a competitive environment. Obviously, when the CHL expanded to its full 60 teams, that's when we really saw the competitive level take off, when we can actually compete in the Rio Memorial Cup system and strategies, and it was playoff structure. That's when it was really ideal for everyone, right? So the same thing will happen for the ECHL, I believe, over time. Each season we're going to look to keep adding a few more teams here and there until we get to the full 27 complement. Obviously, the rate of development and the rate of growth is based on the numbers and those who sign up for management, and those who sign up for management that do recruiting. That obviously plays a major factor and a major role in the direction we're going to be heading with the ECHL. So that's pretty good, pretty key for everyone to notice and keep in mind. What else? PlayStation sides, once again, same thing. The timelines of this season, except for the CHL, are basically on point, which is kind of nice. It's nice to have everything running all at the same time. Everything and all at the same time. I think it's ideal for all run similar for players and for structure and so on for the website. So PlayStation, it's going well as well too. Week 3, season 3, underway as we speak. No crazy issues in the CHL. Their stat system is a little bit different. Obviously, we don't have an API for Sony like we have for Xbox for account verification to be able to get access to screenshots and all that stuff from your actual profile. So it is a touch bit different. They are utilizing, I believe, Twitter, and then the OCR is taking images off Twitter. Pretty cool system that Triz developed for us to use. I think that's a pretty unique system, pretty badass idea for us to be able to use those pictures for staff verification. Obviously, staff verifications, really separates the men from the boys in regards to leagues. If you don't have stat verification, I don't really think you have a true competitive league, in my personal opinion. So yeah, it's going well over there. Tons of new faces at ownership this year. Also, a ton of faces returning to ownership this year, which is kind of nice. Once again, I still think we're maybe 3 seasons away from really bringing the PlayStation League to that next level. That'll just give all those managers more experience, more time in the league, the ability to really fully understand what the systems are, what the expectations are. The LG is a lot different than what other leagues are, right? So I believe that over time and experience, the PlayStation side of things will really pick up and get nice and get bigger. So it's kind of cool too. CHL expanded this year on the PlayStation side to offer more teams as well, which is really, really huge. They're slowly working their way up to 60 teams. That'll be the goal over there as well too, is get their CHL to 60 teams, and then obviously introduce an ECHL on the PlayStation side to offer more playing opportunity and so on and so forth. That's obviously a big part of what we're trying to do as we continue to grow the PlayStation brand and go on from there. In regards to stats as well too, if everyone hasn't seen it yet, there is a thread put together by Frost, posted on I believe it's on the NHL forum, stickied right now. It kind of goes through the whole process for taking stats, like during a lag out, and what pictures are provided and all that stuff. So really give that a check out, because it's definitely a really good read, really educational, and really helps everyone out who has no experience yet in dealing with that kind of stuff. Or some people are lucky. I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't been involved in a lag out yet this season. So if it continues on that way, there's a good chance I may never have to deal with a lag out situation in a game I'm playing in this season at all. So if that's the case, I think that that really causes issues for people who finally actually get one leg out. Perhaps they're just like, oh shit, now I don't know what to do because I've never experienced it, right? So where we're lucky, the Xbox side of things, having 25 seasons of experience running these leagues, over that much time and that much dedication to the league, you're going to run into a few of these issues, and you've been around the block long enough to understand and see these things and how to handle it and what to do and go from there, right? That was a really, really weird bounce in a series of events. That was odd. That's not going to be a goal, I don't think. Let's check. Nope, it's not. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. I can't remember what side I'm on. Anyways, yeah, so PlayStation League's going great. It's nice to see the media and that stuff pick up over there as well too and develop. Big shout out to streaming on that side as well too. I know Triz mentioned to me, I think it was last week actually, we were looking at games, what we're kind of going on, looking at the streaming when the season began, and we looked over and we had 15 NHL streams for the 9 o'clock game, which means literally every game's being streamed. At the AHL 9:30 game slot, I think we had 13 out of 15, so that's almost the entire AHL, and then we had more than half of the CHL games being streamed as well too. Those are big key factors, man. Streaming's key. It's awesome. With the new systems on Twitch right now, so your videos are archived for forever, is pretty ideal. I think down the road you may see the website and Triz utilize that system a little bit better to really showcase and archive some historical LG games. That was a super speed poke. That was weird. So yeah, that's definitely food for thought down the road. So big drop in games completed. Take a look at what you're gaining here. For everyone to remember too, this is the screen you want here, right? Your player summary. Once this loads up, so try not to skip by it. People have the habit of tapping the A button and you skim by this really, really quickly. But this is the screen you want. It'll show you utilizes all your stats and your points. And remember, it's 3 scrolls, right? So team play is your last. Team play rating is your last thing on this screen. So you scroll that over until it disappears. Then your next screenshot, and then block shots is your last one here. So you scroll, block shots, and you get all these pictures here. This page is nice, it's kind of cool to have the classes. It kind of shows what everyone's playing as. Maybe down the road over a few seasons we can utilize that for stat verification, but also for like trending on the website, right? Like, okay, so the top 10 scorers in the league are using power forward and blah blah blah, like just for stats like that. It's also ideal to have gamer tags. Gamer tags are, in my opinion, the game breaker when it comes to stat verification. That makes our life a hell of a lot easier moving forward. So that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to touch base with kind of what I posted yesterday, give everyone a little bit of an easier time from reading, kind of touch on some things that are going on, kind of go from there. So quit out of this, I'll swing over to my HUT team quick, and I'll give you guys an example of a couple cards that I'll be giving away today on Twitter. So like I said, please follow me on Twitter. please follow me on Twitch, and please check out my videos. I'm definitely going to be starting to try to do this weekly, maybe a couple times during the week, depending on what's going on in the schedule, so I could really address some of the issues and talk about topics going around the league. Maybe down the road, as I get better at this, I'll probably bring in some special guests, bring them into parties, play drop-ins together, and then, obviously invite them to discuss and talk about topics with me in the party. That's always a pretty cool feature with Twitch, having the ability to talk in the party and be part of the video as well too. So this was definitely a lot of fun. I got to work on my ability to play and talk at the same time, because it definitely was not my strongest drop-in game. But that was I believe my 152nd drop-in game of NHL 17, which is kind of neat. So let's head over to Hut quickly. I'll show you guys the collection, how I'm doing, and show you guys what I'm giving away today. And the left-handed giveaways today. Probably going to be a couple right-handed giveaways in there today too, just because I do have some decent righties in here as well that don't really make the cut. So let's go collection. Give you guys a quick show what we got going on here. Show everyone. Boom. Load this up. Alright, so just a collection. Yes, I know, it looks pretty badass. Did some hero sets. That's a lot of fun for those who play Hut. You gotta train in a ton of guys to get these guys, but I do enjoy it. It is a lot of fun. Pretty lucky. I pulled both these guys. I pulled the Pavelski. I pulled the Burns. That's pretty huge. Bought the Brett Hull. If you're like me, you like a right-handed player who's smaller, who can skate and shoot the puck, Brett Hull is pretty key. Pretty decent synergies as well too. Luke Robitaille is a lefty. You got to use him. Dirty Dangle, passing playmaker, both using the synergy. It's hard not to use that. Pretty solid. And then of course Evgeny Malkin. I'm a Pittsburgh fan, obviously, so it's hard to not use Evgeny Malkin. All right, so let's flip over to page 2. What are we giving away today? Well, let's give away Zach Parise. Zach Parise is a solid left-handed player. Wicked wrister, got a lot of speed, smaller player. So Zach Parise, will be giving him away today. Might as well give away a PK Subban. I don't really utilize him. Pretty solid right-handed defenseman. So we'll give away PK. Those of you that are Montreal Canadian fans and are still undefeated without him on your team, I think that was the best trade that you guys could have made at the NHL level. And let's give away Ryan Suter. We'll give away Ryan Suter. Pretty solid tape-to-tape left defenseman. So those are the 3 giveaways that are going to be going on today. That's what we're going to probably go with. I'll post all that on Twitter shortly. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for taking a look at all this. Thanks for bearing with me. This was my first episode. Like I said, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch. This was the Chronicles of a Drop-In Hero, brought to you by LG McDonald. Check us out, LeagueGaming.com. Sign up today to play. We definitely have a great league, great experience, and great community. So thanks for your time, everyone.